Hello everyone, my name is Mike and I am the co-founder of the Wanda Pratnicka Center. We have spoken last time about the fate of the soul and we have discussed what mechanics are starting to work after physical body is no longer present. In the today's episode, I am going to talk about what is the further way of the soul in the spiritual realm and in the first stage, which is the emotional realm. So, first of all, it is very important to know that the soul is deciding on its own on what the time of the death of the physical body will be. The soul knows that it came to life on earth only for evolution, only for experiences, and it just is considering if it is still of value, I mean spiritual value, to stay here on earth, or if it is already the time to go implement everything that the soul learned on earth. And so that is a subject that is breaking more and more into the consciousness of humanity today. So we are right now in the process of going away from a taboo subject and an open discussion about it, as the soul is something most of us have perceived previously as not being present. We thought that is only the physical body and we did everything we only could to protect it, sometimes with very good results, sometimes with really bad results. And that makes the evolution that we're going on earth, because by our human mistakes we're learning so much about what is according to God's law and what is not. So the soul chooses when and how it dies. It can change its decision anytime, even the very last moment, even in the moment of death. So the soul has an absolute power over the whole process. Every death of the physical body, whether it is an accident or it is an illness that is taking a long time to die, or if it is any other kind of going away from this life, of passing to the other side, it is always the decision of the soul how the death will be. Death is a very, very important moment in our life. Usually we are dying, and the cause for the death is always our greatest challenge on earth. So we are here to master something, and in most cases death is the reason why we are going away from this world, and that is at the same time our greatest weakness. And after the soul is leaving the physical body, it keeps the memory about everything. It keeps the memory about everything. It will know its entire life, and it will also know what happens after the consciousness goes out of the physical body. I want to give you a short example of my wife's mother. Wanda had a mother who had cancer, and that cancer was going on for a long time. So one time she has been fed in bed and she just choked, and after that she shortly lost consciousness. And then she's waking up after a time, and these were the first words: "I came back into the physical body because you have been in such a terrible state. And I couldn't leave you here. This would be pain and suffering for you for the rest of your entire life. And you would have guilty feelings that I choked and I died because of you feeding me not the proper way." And also she said, "Look, there is a neighbor in front of the door outside. Go and open her the door." And Wanda was completely astonished because she said, "There is. We have not heard any bell." And her mother says, "Just go and open the door." So she did, and there is a neighbor standing there for like half an hour or longer. And she's saying, "Look, something very, very strange just happened. I wanted to bell at the door and I couldn't. I wanted to move my hand and I couldn't. I wanted to go away and I couldn't either." Then they are just entering the room where Wanda's mother lies in bed, So finally, Wanda's mother said, "Look, Wanda, I have to die, and you have to deal with this, and I will die when you are not here." And exactly that happens after a couple of weeks after that. So these near-death experiences, they are pretty well known today. In the old times, it was treated as taboo and ignorance. These near-death experiences are today much better described. There is more people than it was before, and all these people are saying, "I have returned because there was still something I needed to manage." Either they had unfinished businesses, or they felt sorry for their family, or they had to just forgive to people on the physical level. So they are all having the consciousness of being outside the body, and that is the proof that we are still alive after our consciousness leaving the physical body. And Wanda had near-death experiences too. After having surgery, you can read about it in the book Possessed by Ghosts, Exorcisms in the 21st Century. So she also had the time where she wanted to very badly say others that there is no death of the physical body. But in these times, people were still very much distant to that idea. Today it changes radically. The consciousness shifts. The consciousness is also going up a lot. I have already spoken about it in previous podcasts, that a soul is building a plan before it is coming into the incarnation. We are building an entire plan for places where we are going to be, people that we're going to meet, appearance, how our body will look like, and we will also get the backup option for going away from the incarnation. Sometimes life becomes too difficult, and that is the moment where we are just getting the chance to go back home. After we are being born, we are just forgetting it consciously, and our soul on deep levels knows about it and can choose these ways out. And because we have gotten the greatest gifts of all, namely the free will, the soul is free to decide about every aspect of the physical life, also about the death moment itself. So during the death process, the consciousness is just leaving the body and it lives on, and we are just transferring our consciousness to the energy body. And the first instance is the emotional body, and we are then living in the emotional world. And when our consciousness is out of the physical body, there are loving souls waiting for us to greet us and to explain the new reality. There are also spirit guides coming, and they are radiating love, a lot of love. In that regards, no one is alone. Every soul that is just passing to the other side is being greeted with great love. And if a soul is especially exhausted, then it will be helped. There are many souls who are helping a lost soul also to go into higher vibrational fields. So the soul is getting a lot of chances of getting well again. However, and you know it from previous podcasts, it happens that people are choosing otherwise, and they are just choosing the life close to humanity, close to material things, out of fear. In the end, I wanted to tell you something about self-punishment mechanism that is working also after the death of the physical body. Oftentimes, the soul who is already on the other side is just feeling guilty of different things, and so then the greater the transgression in the subconscious eyes, the greater also the punishment. This can differ for different people, but a major violation for one is a very normal thing for the other. So it is deeply depending on the subconscious mind and how well we knew it during lifetime. Because if we healed the subconscious mind from the human error that we were in, then our subconscious mind is different. Then after the death of the physical body, it does not have the weaknesses anymore. And that's the reason why I always advise everyone to become conscious of its own emotions, because our emotions is actually the knowing about the subconscious mind. Our emotions and our subconscious mind is exactly the same thing. In other words, the awareness of our subconsciousness means that we are just not a threat for ourselves anymore. And I hope this is motivation for you to look very closely on your emotions, to become very much aware of how it operates, in what situations, and so that you know every second of your life what your emotions are exactly doing, how you feel this present moment in comparison to 5 minutes ago, for example, or 1 hour ago, or today in the morning, or yesterday. If you know these things, your consciousness of your emotionality is going to become larger and larger and larger. And by that, you will find control over the life that you are leading on the physical level, and also about the life that you are going to live on the spiritual level, namely in the emotional body when you get outside of the physical body. So I would very much like to thank you for being here and listening. Let's hear each other again in the next episode that is going to be a continuation of the fate of the soul after the death of the physical body. Bye bye.